So KBLB is kind of shaping up into an overextended stock. You have its initial run up from 6 cents on April 17th up to 13, consolidated for 6 or 7 days straight, then had a nice little breakout. Choppy at first, took a while to actually get going, but now you can see as we get up to these last like 4 days, 5 days of price action, those green candles have gotten a lot bigger. So the price action is speeding up. There's more volume being traded into it at higher prices, which usually means the decline is going to happen relatively soon. So if you also look at this chart, in the past 3 days, it has sneakily put in 3 consecutive green days, which is our loved OTC short setup. So there's a good chance tomorrow that if this goes red around 48 cents, it might go right back down to the 26 level, which is where that support is from the past 4 days. And from 40 cents down to 26 cents is going to be like roughly a 20 to 30% profit. And so it's going to be a nice one. I'll definitely be looking at that for a red-green move tomorrow. I'll short into that, and then look to dip by the bounce near 26 cents. All right, we're about 2 minutes from market open. Again, from last night, we detailed Kblb. We have one of those stocks where the initial breakout was down here at 13 cents, so quite extended from there. We have that sped up price action as of the past 5 days and consecutive green days. So right now we have a slight gap up, but I imagine if it goes red, it's going to get ugly. And so I'll be shorting that red-green move if it comes. Market is open. Pushing up. Kind of looks like we're failing, so I'm going to start stabbing. So I got 76,000 shares short from 47 cents, 47.3. And now I'm just going to watch the level 2, wait for turns on the level 2 to start covering my shares. '44s are defending for a bit. Usually this first bounce fails. Right now my risk is on 51 cents, yesterday's high of day. I'm short from 47, so it's roughly a 4-cent risk. And we've caught for a sec, but what I like is that we're red on the day. So at this point, I can stay patient unless my risk is broken, in which case I'll cover. Long should start to be selling their position pretty soon now that it's red. Trend has reversed. Sellers should step in, and the bid should lose a grip. So far, weak bounce. The asks just stacked up right there. You see some size on the right side. Testing that 44-cent low that just held. Some panic prints going underneath, and we just took out 44 cents and 43 cents stacked up. Pushing down on 42 cents. Looks like panic is ensuing. The volume is quite light, so I'm going to cover up some of my shares just because I have quite decent size. Don't want to get caught in a squeeze. Also, the bid is stacked up. We started to bounce a bit. I got some shares off, but not as much as I really wanted. So I'm not going to chase this strength. And if this bounce gets good enough, I'll short more. Still 6 minutes into market open, so long day in front of us. These things usually crash up to 30%. We're down 8%, so I do think I should give this more time despite bouncing and catching right now. At this point, it really does become a waiting game. Either I'm right or I'm wrong, and I'm happy with those results either way. Move on to the next. 44 just stacked up there. Now we're in a little channel between 45 and the low 40s. But it looks like we're pressuring 42 now, taking some hits. For the most part, it's holding. got some size on the ask and size on the bid. So I don't mind covering a bit here as well. And 42 defended again. So again, we're in a channel between 41 cents and roughly 46. So again, I could contemplate a reshort here and add back some of my shares, but I really truly think that we haven't panicked enough in order for me to do so. Hasn't really gotten all that volatile. So I'm going to hold off on ads. I'm not going to take any shorts here. I still have pretty decent size, so there's no reason to get too greedy. At the end of the day, if this works out, I'll still make a 5-figure profit on the day. So no reason to bite off more than I can chew. Just going to sit here and let the setup work. It's the best I can do. Looks like 46 cents rejected for now. And I do believe if we get under 41 cents, it will open the door to true panic. Maybe down to 30 cents, 35. I'll be watching the level 2 for turns, and right now I'm basically going off the chart until we get more panic. I have my risk, I have my reward. Let's see if we can get through low of day. Let's see if we can break the channel to the downside. $45 stacked up again, but there's definitely some size on the bid as well. So kind of in a battle right here. The bid is stacked up pretty strongly at 44 cents. It feels like it's going to push higher. But again, we are 13 minutes into market open. Going to give this a chance to work out. Level 2 can be deceiving at times, so I'm focusing on the chart more than anything right now until we get some more volatility, some more downward pressure. As we break through those lows, that's when I'll start to focus on level 2 again and start watching turns. For now, this is all chart based. I have my risk and I'm keeping to it. And Kblb has gone absolutely illiquid at this point, which is normal. But ask yourself, are you going to be able to stay patient through this illiquidity? It's not easy. You got to see these things 1,000 times, so at the 1,001st time, you know exactly what to do. I've seen this setup play out so many times. As long as we're red on the day, I know I'm fine. $0.44 defended, and we got a higher low. Every time that bid drops down, every time the ask drops down, the bid stacks back up, takes it out. And it looks like we're going to make a move towards green-red. We got above that channel for a hot sec. So right now the ask is stacked, and in my beginning trading days, that used to scare me, and I'd be taken out, especially if I had big size. I'd be covering here a big portion. But if you watch trading the tickers enough and you watch the OTC setup, you know to play the chart right now and not the level 2. Right now, chart's intact. We're still below my risk, and considerably so. Right now, my risk is the previous day's highs, roughly 51 cents. I'm using yesterday's highs because green red and yesterday's highs are so close together that it just makes more logical sense. It's hard enough for a stock to get through green red. It's even harder for a stock to get through the previous day's highs all in one thrust. So it gives me a shot to see if green red rejects and it continues on back down. I'm willing to use that wider risk because I've seen this setup. And I know that that's what I want to use as we start pushing up. This is where it can get scary. This is where you start doubting your plan. This is where it's so important to have that mindset where if you take a loss, it's fine. Move on to the next play. Wait till the setup comes around again. If you lose on one but nail 4, you're going to be insanely profitable. So don't be scared of a loss. It happens. Some big size just went through on the ask and it didn't budge. I'll bring in the level 2, the time and sales tape. And it looks like right now this first bounce attempt is failing. The ask is stacked back up. We're pressuring back down on the 45s. We're now 23 minutes into market open. Still a long day in front of us. It's going to be much easier for Kblb to break low of day than to break yesterday's high, statistically speaking. Level 2 is kind of shifted now. Every time a big size comes on the ask, it still gets taken, but then another one comes in. That feels heavy to me, whereas before it felt a tad light. Looks like we're taking out that 45-cent bid. Those red prints on my time and sales tape are panic prints below the best bid. People are seeing that it's failing and they're exiting their longs. The question is, how many people have to exit and how many shorts are going to pile on? Can we break those lows? Because that will open up the doors, true panic. 44 cents just took a decent amount of hits and held. So unfortunately, I was told to keep these videos to under a certain length. So I'm gonna pause it here as it's kind of illiquid and not doing anything. And I'll resume it once we're either taking a loss or breaking down. So I'm resuming the video here. We just got through that 44-cent level. And that could lead the door to low of day and then further cracks. So I think it's an opportune moment to just resume the video and try and get another 15 minutes here. It's now an hour and a half into market open. Generally, I do like to give this setup 2 hours to really work. 2 hours is generally my time frame before I just kind of give up and say that it's holding up too well. $42 taking some hits. Staying solid for now. So I'm just covering into pieces when I see that level 2 turn. Just kind of locking in along the way in case this does reverse. I do like how that ask is staying stacked for now. It's way more encouraging that we're down at the lows right now than if we were at the highs. Kind of how I think about it at this point. We're below VWAP, we're below the day open, we're right on the day, and we're closer to the lows than the highs. Another attempt on the 42 level. Those are some panic prints right there. Some bidders dropped off. 42 cents looks weak. And we lost 42 cents and we're trending right towards those lows. The ask continues to pressure down on the bid. '41 stacked up for a hot sec. The 42 also has a big ask. So again, we're at a battle of low of day. Long's trying to defend it from breaking through, and short's really wanting it to pressure down. I mean, we're right there. So I don't mind covering a little bit into support. It's the obvious move in my mind. Lock in predictable gains. Into weakness. Don't chase the spikes. Almost got through 41 cents there for a sec. The bid has dropped off, but the ask hasn't come down yet. There we go. The ask just came down. And so far, no further breakdown. Which means I'm going to cover a couple shares here. So I took out a big chunk right there because I really did expect that low of day break to lead to further panic. Now it's not totally out of the cards. We haven't bounced at all yet. We've just kind of stacked up at 41. So again, I'm just taking the predictable gains. If this does start to bounce, do I want to sit in this position for the whole day? Right now I'm facing roughly 15% gains. Not a bad day. I've realized roughly 3 grand, and I'm still short decent size. I still have 25,000 shares short. Still giving it a chance to break through that low of day. open the door to more panic. $0.40 are still continually to defend. The bid again stacks right there at 41 cents. And now we start pushing. But the bid is definitely less stacked than the ask for now. It's kind of at that point where the bid looks weak now and the ask looks heavy. Every time a new bidder comes and tries to step in, the ask takes it out and drops lower. It's a battle right here. The good news is this is a new low on the day. We did crack low of day. I just expected more panic. Since we're not getting it just yet, I'm covering some. For the purpose of time's sake, I'm going to stop this video here. If I was a new trader, I'd be taking 100% gains right here. I mean, you're up 15%. If this is your first time taking the strategy, those are phenomenal, phenomenal gains. And, anything more than this is the cherry on top, obviously. But this is what's predictable. And so I'm going to stop it here, and I'll play it again end of day just so we can get a good look at the end of day chart. But this is the main portion of the play that I like to attack. This is where I'm most familiar. It's that initial green-red move. It's that first bounce failure and the crack of low of day. That's where I'm most familiar. And that's where I like to be. That's what I like to be prepared for. So I'm going to resume the video here because it looks like we're going to crack under 40 cents in just a bit here. Now, for the most part, yeah, I've covered most of my 70,000 shares. But I do want to talk about this bounce that just happened right here. Generally, I like to wait for this low of day crack, and like we were saying since the beginning of this video, I wanted more panic under 40 cents. Um, and this bounce here, as we approach the low of days, yeah, I mean, generally they do bounce at support, 40 cents being that support. But you can see that that bounce was really weak. I mean, at best, we moved up a cent from the lows. So the stock is still completely weak. And in certain scenarios, I'm shorting this low of day crack and adjusting my risk to do so. But the most important thing right now is the reason I'm still patient with some of my shares was because that bounce was so weak that I really had no reason to cover. It still looks like we're going to crack this low of day and lead to more panic. So, if we start to panic and we turn one more time, I'll probably just take out the rest of my shares and just call it a day. Uh, it's been 2 hours, which is generally my time limit to really want to be in the market, and I'd rather just go enjoy my day and take my $5,000 to the bank. So here we go, some panic prints on 40 cents. The bids are dropping off, the market makers, the routes, whatever they are. Again, panic prints. Those pink prints are people panicking out. Now everyone thinks that low day is going to crack, so they're getting out at all costs. And despite cracking under that low, we still defended. Makes me think that that 40 cent level should be key. Right there, we got a print under 40 cents. Quite big size too. So far, 40 cents is defending. And it's kind of that last line of defense. Some market makers on the ask dropped off for a sec. Some bigger prints are hitting on 40 cents, and we're still not budging. I'm going to try to give it a little bit more time, but what am I really fighting for here? 3 cents? Is that worth it? We'll see in a sec. 40 cents taking a lot of heat. And if that thing stacks up again, I'll be out. Don't want to stick around for a bounce and then maybe later fade, come another hour and a half. Took out that big bidder at 40 cents. And we stacked back up again. And now there's another big bidder at 3999. Some big size going through, and we've cracked under 40 cents. And there's some size on the bid there. Some decent size. Every penny down, there's more and more size. Not to say that it can't get taken out, but it makes me weary. It makes me want to cover. So at this point, since I keep seeing bidders flash, I'm just going to get out for roughly a 20% gain on the day. And that'll be that. So before I end this video, here's the end result. $4,400 realized. Shorted the green-red move, covered into panic. I do think it goes lower, but I'm just done with this stock. It was boring watching it, and I made that predictable gain, and the most familiar part of the move is done. And I'm not going to get greedy.